Oh, let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Hi, everybody. Whoa, that was very deep to start.
It was deep.
It was surprisingly deep. I think it's because I got plain voice today. Hi, everybody. My name is Jay. What am I? I don't even know how to introduce my own show anymore, Andy. I'm Jay. This is Blockbusting. You know that already. My guest today, it's my friend and actor and wonderful dude, Andy Dispensa.
Hey, man, you're doing great.
Thank
I think
you.
you're doing fantastic.
Thank you. A little rough around the edges. We're going to leave it in like that.
Yeah, sure.
Because why not?
Why not? Why not?
Why not?
You're
What's the
getting off
harm?
flights. I'm getting off flights. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
Both traveled to New Orleans this week. Both just got back in town, and we're talking about a movie today
Yes.
that I had never seen.
Okay. Oh, really?
I'd never seen it before.
Wow.
And you brought it to my attention when we met up for coffee and catching up because we haven't
Yes.
seen each other in a number of years. Backstory for you guys listening: Andy and I went to college together. We made some films together. We were in classes, and now we're here living that industry lifestyle, baby.
You got it.
And Andy brought this movie to my attention. He just came to LA before he's about to go jet set off to New Orleans. And this movie is The Untouchables, and I should not have even touched this movie at all. It lives up to the hype. It lives up to the title.
Okay.
It's first of all, before we get into
So you liked it?
no.
Oh, all right. We have so much to talk about. I just rewatched it this morning.
What did you think about it? You don't like it, obviously. We've talked about this. But you didn't give me a reason why, really. So what's your reasoning? What's your beef with this movie?
Okay. So I had seen it in the past, here and there, like on AMC from time to time. And I know that it had some critical acclaim. And, you know, online it has a pretty decent rating on IMDb. I believe Sean Connery won the Best Supporting Actor.
He did.
Which, I mean, he's great. But the movie, I mean, where do you want me to begin? Because
Wherever you like.
I will start.
Dealer's choice.
I'll start with the big three things in my mind that are really off-putting.
Okay.
Okay, so I really don't like to badmouth actors. Being an actor, it's hard. I know how hard it is, and there's so many factors that go into making a movie and where you are in your career. So I'm skeptical to, I'm timid to backmouth actors. However, Kevin Costner, as the lead in this film, is
so bad.
I mean, really, man. I don't know where his stakes are. Like, he's just super cool and doesn't, he like, if you look at him acting opposite Sean Connery, it doesn't make sense. He's not hitting any of his marks. Yeah.
It's not even that he's too cool. It's that he doesn't feel like he gives a shit.
Yes.
And this is something that I'm 0 for 2 on Kevin Costner movies at this point, and I don't think
What was the other one?
Waterworld.
Okay.
Which he was the worst part of Waterworld, and he's the lead in that movie. I don't think Kevin Costner is a good actor.
Okay, well, hold on. Have you seen him in The Hatfields and McCoys?
No.
All right. Now, being when I was younger, Kevin Costner was one of my least favorite actors.
But that's understandable. He's bad.
But he does good work. He has been in some really good stuff, and I feel like in his career, I haven't seen Dances with Wolves, which I know is his masterpiece.
Right, apparently.
So, but in Hatfields and McCoys, he's cast perfectly. He's a beast. He's very good. So I'm.
I just don't want to watch any Kevin Costner movies anymore after this.
Okay.
I might, but man, he's so bad in this. You have one thing. That's the first thing you named.
That's
Kevin
the first.
Costner being so bad. It just seems a lot of what happened in this movie, and for those of you who aren't as caught up as we are, of course, The Untouchables is a 1987 American gangster film directed by Brian DePalma, produced by Art Linson, written by David Mamet.
Yes.
Starring Kevin Costner, Charles Martin Smith, Andy Garcia, Robert De Niro, and Sean Connery, and follows Elliot Ness as he forms the Untouchables team to bring Al Capone to justice during Prohibition. Score by Ennio Morricone. It's got all kinds of... It got nominated for 4 Academy Awards. Sean Connery won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. But it's just not that good.
No.
It's a totally average movie.
Below average.
What's the deal? Okay. Kevin Costner, how did he finagle his way into being the lead of this movie? Did you do any more research and seeing who else was asked to be the lead?
I didn't, but this is the year that Kevin Costner kind of exploded. He did this film, and he did another film, which the name is escaping me, but this was like his year where he came to prominence and people recognized him as a star.
I don't understand why.
Do the ladies have a thing for him?
For Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. What other movies did he do at this time of year? I didn't even know this was his breakout year.
It was.
I know that Mickey Rourke turned down the role.
Oh, really?
Mickey Rourke would have been amazing as Elliot.
Yes. All right, one of the biggest first problems I have with Kevin Costner is he comes into the movie, right? Mm-hmm. And it's his first day on the job. He's home with his wife. He's about to leave for work.
Right.
And his wife gives him a little note saying, like, I'm so proud of you. You're going to be great.
Yanks it off the calendar, leaves it in the sack lunch.
Yeah. And it gets to the point where he's going on the first raid, right? The film's about prohibition.
Right, yeah, the film's, they're going out and they're trying to bust up Al Capone's empire that he's built. So they go on this raid to what they've heard is a Canadian liquor shipment.
Right.
And so they go to this place, and it's all just crates with maple leafs on them, so you know it's Canadian.
Right.
And then he busts it open with an axe, and there's this plucky reporter who also I hate as a character, just like, what are you doing there, bud? Why are you throwing yourself into the line of fire like that?
Exactly.
You little twerp?
Exactly. But his feeling and emotion going into that scene, he's like not nervous. It's his first day on the job. The script seems pretty clear. He should have some anxiety or stakes about what he's going to do, and he's just like, this is everyone do their job, this, that. So I don't know.
You're doing a better job pretending to be Elliot Ness right now than Kevin Costner was in the movie, because you actually have a little. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He's not bringing... You don't care about his character. There's even that scene when he goes to his... He's getting back to his house after his team starts to become known as the Untouchables.
Right.
And they're figuring out that, hey, the gangsters don't like what we're doing because we actually busted up. Because Sean Connery knows everything, and nobody trusts Sean Connery, even though he's like, we go to the post office. Right. I know that's where all the liquor's kept. And he goes.
He knows everything.
He knows everything, and nobody believes him. He's just walking on bridges, keeping Kevin Costner from jumping off a bridge,
right,
or something,
or something.
I don't know.
Right.
He's mad at the litter. Hey, why don't you don't litter there, young man? I'm gonna stop. I don't know what I'm doing with the Sean Connery impression, but
he's a vague police gentleman. He's like a
he's literally like swinging a billy club,
right?
Like a cartoon police officer, and he's just talking and he's just being Sean Connery. It only makes sense to have an old Irishman in the 30s, and I feel like this is why Brian De Palma cast Sean Connery in this role, because it was like, well, listen, we're going to have an old Irish guy. His name's going to be Malone, and he's going to be so wise. And Sean Connery's like, great, shine me up. I'm not going to have to do much at all. And he didn't have to do anything, hardly.
Was he supposed to be Irish?
Yeah.
He was. Okay, sorry.
Wait, did you not think he was?
No, I thought his accent... He's from England, right? He's from England?
Yeah.
He's from England? Okay.
But I'm not sure what brand... England and Ireland, they're all sort of in the same realm.
Gotcha.
And
I guess I missed... yeah.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, the part that he called somebody a dirty wop didn't touch you at all?
You know?
Mr. Dispensa? Mr. Dispensa.
This is a whole other.
Some white on white racism going on here.
I felt nothing. I was completely fine. It's a story. It did not upset me at all.
Right, a story based on how people actually hated Italians for a little bit of time.
Right, exactly. It was a thing that happened, yeah.
But okay, so we're losing the plot a little bit.
Yes.
Which is this movie is the plot of this movie is simple, and there are parts of this movie that I like, but there's a lot of this movie that I didn't think is worth watching, and I can see why you watched it on AMC for the first time, because it's the perfect kind of AMC movie. You can chop it up and throw it on TNT and throw in commercials, and it doesn't really matter.
Sure, you can cut out a whole bunch and keep it under 2.5 hours.
Cut out most of Kevin Costner being on screen. So there's this point. He goes to his house after they've completed the successful raid on the post office. And the guy who has been just kind of floating around, and he's some sort of enforcer, and he's like, you got a nice wife and nice kid in there. It'd be a shame if something happened to him.
Right.
And then Kevin Costner's just staring at the door of the house. He's like, okay. This could be a bad situation, and that there's no sense of panic. There's no sense of that he actually cares what's going on. He could want his wife dead for all concerned. That's how I felt.
Well, he goes right into he barges in the house and it's like, honey, where's the baby? What's happening? And he goes upstairs and kind of goes pretty ape shit.
It doesn't feel like he's not justified. It's not justified. None of it feels right.
It doesn't feel thought out.
Oh yeah, he goes into his daughter's room and he looks at the bed and she's not there, and it just pans over. She's up coloring at a table.
Okay, this is the second big problem.
Ooh, tell me.
That I had.
I hit number 2.
Okay, the stylistic choices that Brian DePalma chose for this film. Mm-hmm. There's a certain level of camp involved with it. The cheesy reporter is supposed to be an element of comedy.
Yeah, same with the agent who's an accountant.
Yes, the accountant. Right, where he at some point he's blowing people off with a shotgun.
Yeah. Oh, that part. Ooh.
And then takes a sip of liquor that's been coming out of the wagon of a bullet hole. I don't exactly know what Brian DePalma. There's too many stylistic things going on, and it's not. Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
I haven't seen, besides this, any other Brian DePalma movies.
Have you seen Scarface?
Like I said, besides this, I haven't seen any other Brian DePalma movies.
Okay.
All I know about him is that he made Scarface and he made The Untouchables, and he tends to make movies that have a lot of violence in them.
Yes.
What other filmmaking touches do you know about Brian DePalma that I don't?
So I've only really seen Scarface.
Okay.
This Mission Impossible.
Brian DePalma made Mission Impossible?
He did. He made Mission Impossible.
Okay.
He likes to go big, and he's big with theatrics and ideas. I think theatrical ideas. So I think maybe, especially with this film, some of the ideas kind of maybe they didn't come from a truthful place and telling the story. And the scene, my least favorite scene.
What's your least favorite scene?
With the baby carriage where it's going down the stairs at the end.
The Battleship Potemkin.
Yes.
Redux.
The scene is so long and so unrealistic, and it's almost like you're watching a fantasy or a dream.
Yeah.
It
doesn't make. I remember watching that scene and thinking well, this is cool, but you don't need to do this.
No, not
What's
at all.
What's the point of having this in the movie? It's one of these movies, and I admittedly fell asleep while watching this movie, which is never a good sign.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. This movie's already feels too long.
Very long.
It could have logistically, it could have been over so much earlier than it actually was.
Sure.
Because Brian DePalma all of a sudden decided that he needed to make any kind of redux or rehash of any of all these cool ideas that didn't need to be done.
Yeah, totally.
And then of course you got Sean Connery with a mouthful of scenery, just running around this set, just not even, I don't think even acting, just showing up and being Sean Connery.
I thought he was quite good, though.
He's good because he's Sean Connery.
Well, yes.
He's not good because he played the role well. Sean Connery's just fun to watch. It's like Liam Neeson.
But he's a good actor.
Well, he is a good actor. But he did. But I mean, I was even looking at some of this and watching like some of Sean Connery's line reads, and I was just like, why are you putting emphasis on this word?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch any of that.
It bothered me, dude.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I like Sean Connery. I think he's a fun person to watch.
He is. He's very watchable. Yeah.
But there were some scenes that I was like, I don't get this.
Okay.
I don't get this choice.
Yeah.
This movie felt like it was made with a lot of strange choice making.
I think,
and I don't know whose fault that is. I guess Brian DePalma's, right? Because he's the director.
I would say Brian DePalma's. Yeah.
What is your third big issue with this movie?
Okay, and this is huge for me.
Okay.
Huge. I am a huge, massive Ennio Morricone fan.
Oh my God.
Like, he's one of my favorite composers.
We're hitting all the same points.
Yes, of course, because you watched it. I love 8.5. I love all his work with Fellini. Like, Fellini is one of my favorite directors.
Mm-hmm.
The way Brian De Palma used his music to inform the audience on how they should feel was cringeworthy. Like, for example, it would have been so much more powerful if, in the beginning, there's no spoiler alerts.
Yeah, spoilers fine. If you're listening to this podcast, you're going to get spoiled on so much stuff. You should know that by now.
You should call
listeners.
it spoiled. Right, exactly. Okay. When the little girl takes the bag in the beginning, it's like, "Mister, you left your bag," and then it's a bomb and she blows up, which you saw coming from a mile away.
Right,
a mile.
Oh, look, Brian De Palma likes to do it big, and that means murdering a 10-year-old in the first 5 minutes of your movie.
It's pretty
bold.
It is.
It's pretty bold.
So immediately after that happens, he lays on this super thick Ennio Morricone dramatic womp that tells you how sad you should feel for this girl and the environment that these people are living in. I mean, he did it throughout the whole film. He laid music over every big moment that would have, he would have just let the acting play out and speak for itself, I feel like would have hit it much more.
One of the other problems that I had with the score is that there are parts that felt cinematic and like they fit the world that Brian De Palma was trying to build.
Sure.
But there are other parts that felt too sitcom-y.
Like which parts?
Well, there was so much of the score where all of a sudden it would go from strings and maybe some low orchestrated woodwind type stuff to all of a sudden you bring it in a bouncy trumpet or a trombone,
yes,
and it feels like part of an episode of Full House.
Right, like 80s synths in there.
Yes, the 80s synths bugged the shit out of me.
Me too.
I don't understand why I don't understand why the choices that were made in this movie were made.
Can we chalk it up to like the 80s maybe?
I don't know, man. I mean, the 80s are a weird time, but I
love the 80s.
I love the 80s too, but I don't think this movie exemplifies 80s filmmaking that well.
You're right.
This movie feels like a movie that was a bad made-for-TV movie.
Yeah.
And it's one of these movies that like I could see it getting remade and being done way better.
Sure.
I think this movie almost deserves that because the story is really interesting.
Totally.
The script itself, I liked. I think David Mamet reining it in a little bit and not being as bombastic as he usually is, I think that works well for the movie.
Yeah.
I think him... God, I'm just like so frustrated by this movie watching experience.
Me too.
Because I watched it and I wanted to like it.
Of course, yeah.
I don't ever approach a movie now from a sense of not wanting to like it. And I see up front, I see all these people who are in it, and I'm like, this could be really good. And then it's just minute by minute, just losing faith in every choice this movie has made. Kevin Costner should not have been able to make Dances with Wolves after this movie.
Oh man, you're being harsh on him.
I'm being harsh on him because he's bad. Because he's bad, Andy.
But everyone's got to learn, right? Maybe this
Hollywood
was
should have learned. Hollywood should have learned.
But he's great in Hatfields and McCoys. Maybe it took him a while for him to get.
Hatfields and McCoys. When did Hatfields and McCoys come out? 5 years ago?
Recently, yeah.
So it took him that long to get good? It took him almost 30 years to get good as an actor?
I don't know.
I mean, I think we can guess. I feel like I need to watch Dances with Wolves just
too.
to see if he is also that bad in that movie.
I don't know, man. That one's very critically acclaimed too. He won Best Director.
He won Best Director. He won Best Picture.
For sure.
This movie, here's some other things.
Okay.
So not only was Mickey Rourke originally supposed to play Elliot Ness and turned it down, Don Johnson was also supposed to play Elliot Ness. That was Brian De Palma's first choice.
Remind me, who's Don Johnson
He's from Miami
again?
Vice.
Oh.
And The Boy and His Dog and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
He would have been great.
I don't know him very well.
He's just kind of... Did you ever watch... one of the most recent things that he was in that I really liked was... Oh, God. Eastbound and Down.
Oh.
He's Kenny Powers' dad.
Huh.
He could have been Elliot Ness.
I've seen...
Because the thing is, you know what, the thing with this movie is it's supposed to be, it's a movie that exists in big choices constantly.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's a bad direction for a gangster movie to go. Robert De Niro is a big actor who makes big choices, right? Same with Sean Connery.
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Connery's making big choices, big bold plays. Andy Garcia even doing in his role is making big choices.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, for whatever reason, is the only person who's playing things small. And it doesn't jive with the rest of what's going on in the movie. He feels them. I mean, this whole movie feels like it's made and cobbled together with a bunch of parts that don't make sense. But Kevin Costner sticks out the most because it's... This movie, I feel it's like a jigsaw puzzle that they tried to piece together, and some of the pieces didn't exactly fit right, so they jammed them, and it kind of looked fine. But Kevin Costner's just a piece from a tiny puzzle that they just threw in to fill this giant hole and hope that nobody would notice the empty space around him.
Yeah, but Brian Palma should have directed him to do a little more, or
I mean, you're not wrong, but also imagine if we had Don Johnson or Mickey Rourke in there, and you didn't have to direct him more. Because there are already actors who are going to make big choices.
Yeah.
I just think...
Maybe.
Maybe it's not that I hate Kevin Costner. Maybe it's just that he was grievously miscast in this movie.
Yeah, I don't think he was ready for this role or something. Something's wrong because the blame in or the fault rather lies in him and his character. Because if he's not compelling, or if he can't carry the movie, he's the lead. Leads carry the movie. If he can't carry the movie, you don't want to watch it. You don't want to. He wasn't likable either. He wasn't. I didn't feel like I wanted to root for him. You know, I was rooting more for Al Capone.
Yeah, that's kind. I mean, it's the opening sequence of the movie shows Al Capone.
Right.
You don't even see Elliot Ness until probably, 5 or 6 minutes into the movie?
Right.
And even that, you don't even see him... His back is turned to you for the first time he's on screen.
Exactly. You open with De Niro, this massive, juggernaut of an actor, and he's playing Al Capone, who's the baddest...
Right. When he gets cut, that's the thing. This movie, I was thrown in and I was like, this is going to be a pretty cool movie. Like when he gets cut by the barber and he's like, and the barber's like, oh shit. And then De Niro's like, no, it's fine. And then later on, he beats the dude with a baseball bat at his dinner. I mean, there's so much De Niro in this movie that I really liked.
Me too.
Maybe that is a thing that could have solved the problems of this movie is... Let's flip the perspective.
Okay, let's flip it.
Let's make the movie the cat and mouse story from the opposite end. Let's make it about Al Capone trying to escape the Untouchables and ultimately getting thwarted. Because right now this movie focuses on, I think, the wrong person, at least for the way that the movie is made. I think if you're going to do a movie like this, keep Sean Connery... Keep Robert De Niro. You can even keep Brian De Palma for all you like, because I think he made some good cinematic choices in this movie. There's a lot of bloat. You can cut out the bloat in the editing. You can shave out like 30 minutes of this movie and still make it work. Somebody needs to re-edit this movie to get Kevin Costner on the sidelines as much as possible and make this movie about Robert De Niro facing off against his greatest foe, Sean Connery.
Yes, put Sean Connery in.
A magical detective who knows where all of the liquor is held at all times, and nobody believes him. And then all of a sudden, he goes to the post office, and that's where it all is. Right. And he took down an entire organization.
You just put it so perfectly and articulated it better than I thought it while I was watching it. So kudos. Kudos.
Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Jay.
Man, is there anything else about this movie that bugged you? I mean, we hit your 3 big points, but what else? What else is this disappointed you while watching this?
Yeah, there were certain. I mean, you never really want to watch a movie and see a line reading and go, "Oh my God, what?" You know?
Yeah.
And there were certain lines. You know, you don't want to notice the acting. Everything was too telegraphed. Everything was too, like, even the part where the guy came into the office and tried to buy off Ness after his first big thing and was like, "What do you think you guys are? Some Untouchables?" You know what I'm talking
Just saying it, basically winking to the camera
right?
as this is happening. Played by, also just a fun thing that I found out during the movie, played by legendary improviser Del Close.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he's played by Del Close, that guy.
Wow.
And it doesn't make a whole, I don't get it.
Right. The audience doesn't need everything put in their face and been like, "Here, this is it. See, look, this is how it is. This is what it is. Do you understand?" Just go easy.
I think you got to let your audience assume that they are going to understand what's happening on screen.
Yeah.
I think a movie, there are plenty of other gangster movies that do this well, too. The problem with this one is that it beats you over the head like a baseball bat wielded by Al Capone at a fancy dinner.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on.
Right.
You know? Like, here, even a simple scene like this. During that scene, we know what's happening.
Right.
Because we see the blood splatter. You don't need to cut and do this overhead crane shot of also showing a man with his head caved in on your table.
Right. Blood leaking all over the place.
You don't need that. It's not that I'm squeamish or that I don't want to see that. It's just that you don't need that to show what you're trying to show in this movie.
Little melodramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a movie, gangster or otherwise, that you think does a much better job of exemplifying this? And hold on, before you say that, I'm going to sneeze.
Okay. God bless, sir. God bless you.
Thank you. Anyway, is there a movie that you think, gangster or otherwise, exemplifies this a little bit better than what Brian DePalma does here in The Untouchables?
Exemplifies the gangster genre, or good versus evil, or
the
what?
Gangster genre, but in a way that doesn't feel too overwrought and like you're being explained to, and instead you get to actually enjoy the artfulness of the movie.
And from the good guy's perspective, because that's I think hard to do.
It doesn't have to be from the good guy's perspective. I'm going to give you that caveat, because there are so many movies in the gangster genre that are not from the good guy's perspective.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm going to say, like, Giants, Hit me
with them. Hit me with your faves.
The Godfather 1 and 2 is, you can't touch it. It's...
They're great.
Yeah, the masterpieces. The Departed is sticks to telling the story. It's just, character-based and character-driven, but you have a complete world to the eye of the Boston mob, and you're in the world. Mm-hmm. They're not trying to telegraph it. What else? I haven't seen too many gangster films in recent years. I feel like they kind of went out in the 90s.
Now
Scorsese, Casino is freaking great.
Right, of course. And
Goodfellas.
There's all these classic movies.
Yeah.
I can't even think of a movie in the gangster genre that's been really well done in the past, besides The Departed in the past 20 years. I'm trying to rack my brain here.
Right.
I mean, all the gangster shit's on TV now. Breaking Bad is one of the best gangster movies you can ever watch.
Oh, hell yeah. It's a long one.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's worth the watch.
Sure.
And it doesn't beat you over the head with shit.
Now, did you see the trailer for Gangster Squad? Because I wanted nothing to do with that.
I did
after
see the
watching
trailer for Gangster Squad.
Like,
It's just same thing with it's just like it's the same thing. It is stylized to the point of getting to getting under the audience's skin in a way that you don't need to do with subject matter like this.
right.
The subject matter is already jarring enough that you're going to be wanting to watch the movie.
For sure.
You don't need to also throw in all of this extra fucking nonsense. This isn't a trimmed. This isn't a trimmed Christmas tree. Should be spare and done well and just executed as efficiently as possible, because all the other stuff you'll be able to bring in. You'll bring in the good actors. You'll bring in the wonderful scenes. You'll bring in good writing. But you don't need to gussy it up with all this extra nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you.
Brian DePalma, what have you done?
Yeah, what else has he done?
I'm looking. I'm going to look right now.
Let's see.
Brian DePalma got nominated for nothing for this movie.
Okay.
Ennio Morricone won some awards for it. He got nominated for Best Original Score. He won the Grammy Award for Best Film Soundtrack.
I mean, the score is great by itself, but it's paired with the wrong moments.
Man, it's just weird paired up like this. I mean, he made
Carrie.
Scarface, Mission Impossible. He made Carlito's Way.
That's a famous one. I haven't seen that.
He made Domino. He made The Black Dahlia.
Snake Eyes with Nick Cage.
He made Snake Eyes. I love Nick Cage.
I do too.
He made Body Double with some people. This is a movie that I've seen. I know my parents own this movie, and I've seen the VHS copy in their film library, and I thought, oh, my parents like sexy movies.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
That's eye-opening, eh?
I mean, the last movie that he made was a movie called Passion, and it doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
Starring Rachel McAdams and Noomi Rapace, an erotic thriller film. What kind of reviews does it have, do you ask?
Let's see.
A 33% based on 69 reviews. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not really like my super cup of tea, you know?
Not me neither. I like other directors. I like a director that doesn't have to beat you over the head with all this shit.
Totally.
Sometimes it works like in Scarface. A mountain of cocaine is very much beating you over the head.
It works, though, in Scarface.
Exactly.
It works.
Because that's a movie about excess.
Yes, and Al Pacino just knocks it out of the park. You believe him, and, you know, he's a madman.
Well, I'm going to go watch Scarface.
Yeah, you
and
should.
I'm never going to watch The Untouchables ever again. And Andy, thank you for bringing this film to my attention, even though we both recognize that it is not a good movie.
Jay, of course, you're welcome. You got it, man.
Where can the listeners find you on the internet if they want to follow your work?
Yeah, sure. I'm on Instagram at a Dispensa, just ADISPNSA, my last name. Twitter, I'm at Andy D Tweets. And I'm just out there. You Google me, I'm around.
Yeah, he is. You can follow me at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram, jlightcomedy.com for show dates. If you're in Dallas, I will be returning to the homestead for some Christmas time things, and I'm doing a show at Noble Ray Brewing on Friday the 21st at 8 p.m. Excuse me, I got to make sure I get the timing right. Because I'm on a calendar that has the wrong time zone for things.
Oh, that's tough, man.
I know.
I'm with you, yeah.
We figure it out together, guys. We figure it out together.
We do.
And follow me at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram, jlightcomedy.com for other show dates here in Los Angeles and elsewhere. And if you like the show, leave a rating, leave a review on iTunes, subscribe. It helps me, it helps you, and it helps my guests. So it's all good for everybody involved. Thanks again, Andy.
Thank you so much, Jay.
This has been Blockbusting. Go see something good for a change.